Hello friends. In last videos we discussed about the distributional maps. First lesson of our syllabus, and that is distributional maps. The types of distributional map and the construction of distributional map. Now we have started a series of videos which focus on the second topic of our syllabus, and that is endogenetic movements. So let us start the endogenetic movements. Friends, endogeneity. Endogenetic, it means what? Endogenetic, it means the interior of the earth, the movement which generally occur in the internal part of the earth, and that movement is known as endogenetic movements. There are various types of endogenetic movements. There are the types is based on various factors, geographical factors as well. Lots of movements are there. In this topic, we are going to discuss the various types of movements, the effects of their movements, the causes of the movements, and so on. But before started the endogenetic movements, in your textbook, a very interesting newspaper headlines is given to you. There's newspapers headlines indicating us a one movement or one that we can say the disaster. What the headlines is all about? The headlines is all about Nepal and the Nepal earthquake. If you see the news headlines, then you come to know that Nepal devastated. This is the headline, and this headline indicating us a serious damage is done in Nepal due to some movements, and that movement is known as earthquake. If you read the newspaper, then you come to know that there is a earthquake in Nepal, and this earthquake create a lot of casualties in Nepal as well. So if you read this newspaper, then you have a certain questions in your mind, and that automatically you will get the answer of these questions as well. For example, the cause of the large scale casualties. If he asks what is the cause behind these large scale casualties, automatically the earthquake is the reason, and because of that earthquake, large scale casualties is recorded in Nepal. And second question is there the magnitude of the earthquake. What was the magnitude of the earthquake? My friend, what is mean by magnitude? Magnitude is one of the measurement which measure the frequency of earthquake, and that is known as the magnitude. And this frequency is measured in Richter scale. And as per this newspaper, there is the earthquake of 7.9 Richter scale. The earthquake which observed in Nepal, and that is near about 7.9 scale, Richter scales earthquake is there. Then we will find which country was mostly affected. Nepal. Obviously, the Nepal is the country which affected more in this earthquake. The another very important part of this earthquake, and that is the epicenter of the earthquake. If you read the news given to you in your textbook, then you come to know that the epicenter is located at the Lamjang. Lamjang is one part of Nepal, and the epicenter is at the Lamjang in Nepal. Then some another question is the focus. At what depth the focus is located. Focus it means what? The focus it means the center of the earthquake, or that we can say center of the earthquake, which the center of the movement which happen in the interior part of the earth. The two very important concepts is there: epicenter and the focus. Epicenter is located at Lamjang, and this is the epicenter where the focus it means the actual movement where happens, the movement actual happens, and that is in the interior of the earth. And here we can see at the 11-kilometer depth the actual movement is happen, and that movement create the waves, and the waves which reach first on the earth surface, and that is called epicenter. In last year in 8th standard we discussed a lot on this. What is epicenter? What is focus? Focus it means the actual movement occur in the interior part of the earth, that is called focus. And epicenter it means that focus created the movements, or the focus created the waves and the energy released in the form of waves, and where the waves comes at earth surface first, that is called epicenter. So epicenter is located at Lamjang, whereas the focus is at the depth of 11 kilometer that we can see. Then what kind of damage Generally, because of the earthquake, the lot of casualty is been recorded there, and property damage. It means life and property is damaged there. And in Nepal, we know that because of the earthquake, 1,500 casualties is recorded, death is recorded, and near about 100 or more than 100 people is been injured here in Nepal due to this earthquake as well. Then, according to us, or who is responsible for that, these casualties? Earthquake, obviously the earthquake is the reason behind it, but behind earthquake, who is responsible? And that is the internal movements, that we can say endogenetic movements. These endogenetic movements are there, and these endogenetic movements create the earthquake. My friend, it's quite surprising that when we are standing on the earth's surface, we feel it's stable. But believe it is not stable. The earthquake or the interior part of the earth, there is a continuous movements. Sometimes that movement come towards the earth surface. Sometimes, most of the time, they didn't come towards the earth surface, and that is why we realize that earth is very stable, earth surface is very stable. But it is not fact. The fact is, earth or the interior part of the earth is very unstable and continuous. Even though right now the movement is continuously on there, but the difference is sometimes, very rarely, we realize that movement, and commonly we didn't realize that movement as well. So behind the earthquake there is a movement, and that movement is known as internal movements, or that movement is also known as the endogenetic movement as well. Now basically, when we're talking about these movements, or what we can see, actually these movements, they are the natural events. There are too many movements. The second lesson, and then the upcoming third and fourth lesson, that also we are discussing the movements as well, but that is the process. Second lesson, the name of the second lesson is endogenetic movements. Third lesson, that is exogenetic movements, or that process, that we can see exogenetic process. Now there is a difference in between movement and process. Process is continuously on, it is very steady, stable, and on, continuously on process. Whereas the movement is suddenly change, or sudden movements is happen there, or sudden change, and that is movement, and a continuous change, that is process. In this lesson, we are making our attention towards movements, and next upcoming lesson number 3 and 4, that we are making our attention towards process, that we are discussing later on. But right now, these natural events that we are talking about, there are too many natural events. For example, flood, heavy rainfall. Due to heavy rainfall, there is a flood, drought, snowfall, extreme rainfall that we can see, or volcanic eruption. That all are the natural events, and these natural events, some of the natural events is because of the internal movements, and some of the natural events because of the external process, or external movement, that also we can call. So basically, the two important natural events that we see, earthquake and volcanic eruption. Earthquake and volcanic eruption, these are the two very important natural events that we can see, and behind that natural event, the responsible force, and that force is known as endogenetic movements. Actually, these endogenetic movements are there, but these endogenetic movements create lot of casualties, or it is known as the disaster. Earthquake, when there is earthquake or when there is a volcanic eruption, generally we call it is disaster. Why we call it is disaster? Actually, it is not disaster. It is a natural events, and it continuously on in the interior part of the earth, but sometimes it comes on the earth surface, and it create lot of casualties, and so far that because of the casualties, it is known as the disasters. And because of the loss of property or the life that we can see, and it disaster, or it is known as the natural calamities. It is also known as the natural calamities. And in this lesson, we are going to introduce these natural calamities, or the natural disasters that we can say, or the natural events. And that events is due to the endogenetic movements, or the internal movement of the earth surface. Now these internal movements of the earth surface, when we are talking about these internal movements of the earth surface, these are the two internal movements that we can see. Because of that, we can see the effect, the two important effect of the internal movements, and that is earthquake and volcanic eruption. My friend, Earthquake and volcanic eruption occurs because of the instability in the interior of the earth. Just now we are talking about the, we feel that earth surface is very stable, but actually it didn't stable. It is a very fast movement is going on in the interior of the earth. And earthquake and volcanic eruption, it is the effect of the instability which is created due to the internal movements of the earth surface. And generally, these movements of the interior of the Earth's surface happen in the upper layer of the mantle. In last year, in 8th standard, we discussed about the various layers of the Earth's surface: crust, mantle, core. These are some of the layers that we can see, and these movements, generally these internal movements, it's occur into the upper layer of the mantle. Upper layer of the mantle, it means immediately after the crust. Immediately after the crust, the another layer is there, and these all events, all movements that we can see, it happens in the upper layer of the mantle. And because of that, huge energy is released. Because of that, huge energy is released, and the radioactive material is deposited on the earth's surface. And this energy is form or this energy transfer in the waves, in the form of waves. Because of the earthquake or the volcanic eruption, tremendous amount of energy is released, and this released energy is transformed in the form of waves. And these waves actually responsible for the volcanic eruption or the earthquake. These are the actually effects of these waves. Basically, these endogenetic movements is classified into three various types, or they are classified onto three types on the basis of velocity, direction, and landform. There are certain criteria to classify these endogenetic movements that we call the internal movements. That we call the internal movements. These internal movements is classified on the basis of velocity, direction, and landform. Now, how they classified, what is their criteria, that all we are going to see in the next videos. Thank you.